Please stop. Don't do this. The words slipped out of me in a trembling whisper as Ethan pinned me against the cold marble counter, his grip bruisingly tight around my wrist. The glass he'd thrown moments earlier was still rolling on the floor, shards glinting under the kitchen lights, red wine pooling like a crime scene. The smell of alcohol mixed with panic stung my throat. "Don't lie to me," he shouted, face inches from mine, breath hot and sharp. "You think I'm stupid? You think I don't see the way you look at him?" His voice cracked in that unhinged way it did when he was spiraling, the way I'd pretended not to fear for months. My vision blurred with tears as I tried to pull away. "Ethan, please. You're hurting." He slammed his palm beside my head. The cabinet door rattled from the force, and I flinched violently. And then a low, controlled voice cut through the air like a blade. "Let her go." Ethan froze. I turned toward the doorway. Lucas, his older brother, the man I had spent months trying, failing, to keep my feelings from slipping toward. He stood there, shoulders coiled tight, fists clenched, jaw set, his blue eyes burning with something between fury and devastation. For a heartbeat, the room felt too small to hold the tension between them. Ethan laughed, a cold, broken sound. Of course you'd show up now. What? You planning to steal something else from me? Like always?" His words were slurred with anger, but sharp enough to cut. Lucas took a step forward, then another. "Take your hands off her," he said again, quieter this time, more dangerous. Ethan shoved me away as if to prove a point. I gasped as my shoulder hit the counter, and that was the moment Lucas lunged. The force of their bodies colliding shook the walls, the kind of violent moment you never forget because it tears your life clean in half. And in that split second, I knew everything was about to unravel, past, present, future, all of it. But the truth is, the unraveling had started long before that night. It began 7 months earlier, when I met Ethan at a marketing conference. He swept into my life like a spotlight, loud, charismatic, always laughing, always commanding attention. He flirted with a confidence that made you feel chosen simply by proximity. When he told me I was beautiful, it felt like a blessing. When he asked me out, I felt lucky. When he held my hand, I felt seen. Looking back, I was just blinded. 2 months later, he invited me to dinner with his family. I arrived nervous, smoothing my dress in the reflection of their front door. But when the door opened, the breath left my lungs. Lucas stood there. Tall, quiet, wearing a simple black t-shirt that made the ocean blue of his eyes stand out. His hair slightly damp, his expression composed and gentle, like he didn't need to fill silence to justify his presence. He looked at me in a way that felt like being examined and understood in the same instant. The second came the night Ethan mocked me for burning dinner and said, loudly enough for everyone to hear, "Good thing her face makes up for her skills." Everyone laughed. I laughed too, because what else do you do? But Lucas didn't. He frowned down at his plate, jaw tightening, like he was swallowing words he didn't trust himself to say. The red flags piled slowly at first. The way Ethan gripped my elbow too tightly when he was irritated, the way he called me sensitive every time I cried, the way he told me to relax when he flirted with other women, the way he controlled what I wore, subtly, then not so subtly. But I excused all of it because he apologized after, because he was affectionate in the mornings, because he told me he loved me, because I didn't know what healthy love was supposed to look like. Lucas, though, he noticed everything. He noticed when I withdrew during conversations. He noticed when I smiled but my eyes didn't match. He noticed when Ethan raised his voice and my shoulders tensed. One night during a family game night, Ethan grabbed my hand too forcefully because he wanted me to sit beside him. I winced. Just slightly. Just for half a second. Lucas saw. He always saw. Another crack formed during the camping trip. Ethan had insisted on going even though I wasn't an outdoor person. He mocked me the entire drive, how I'd scream at bugs, how I'd run away from the dark, how princesses shouldn't go camping. Lucas drove behind us the whole time, and when we arrived, he quietly offered to help set up the tents. Ethan waved him off, telling him to go do something useful for once. But when the storm hit that night, the tent collapsed. I shivered violently under the freezing rain. Ethan yelled at me, blamed me, told me to stop crying and help, even though my hands were numb. Lucas appeared out of nowhere, jacket in hand, rain dripping off his eyelashes. "Here," he said simply, draping it over me. His hands were warm even through the fabric. "You're freezing." I could barely speak. Ethan rolled his eyes. "She's fine." Lucas didn't even look at him. He just helped us rebuild the tent, his slow, steady movements calming the panic clawing up my throat. After that trip, I caught myself thinking about Lucas long after I went home. About the way he looked at me, quiet concern, not condescension. About the way his touch lingered in a respectful, steady way that felt safer than anything I'd known. But I pushed those thoughts down, deep. And then came the night of the porch. I was laughing at something Lucas said, the summer evening warm, his eyes soft in the glow of string lights. We were sitting a little too close, too comfortable, too natural. Ethan walked out, saw us, took a picture on his phone without warning. "Cute," he said loudly. "Looks like you two are having your own little date." My stomach dropped. Lucas's jaw clenched. Ethan posted it online with a caption, "Should I be worried?" Lucas went inside without saying a word, but the look he gave me before he turned away made my heart twist painfully. Something was shifting. Something alive. Something wrong. Something inevitable. The next crack came weeks later, when I wore a red dress I loved. Ethan stared at me and said, "Who are you trying to impress? My brother?" Then he accused me of flirting, of asking for attention. We fought. Loudly. Too loudly. Lucas came into the hallway, tense and alert, like he was ready to jump between us if Ethan got too close. "Everything okay?" he asked. Ethan snapped, "Stay out of it." But Lucas didn't stay out of it. He stood there, silent, unmoving, until Ethan stormed out. Then he turned to me with eyes full of worry, not judgment. "You don't deserve to be spoken to like that," he said. "You don't deserve to be afraid." I broke down crying. He didn't touch me, didn't pull me into his arms, didn't cross any lines. He just sat beside me on the floor and let me crumble. And that was the moment I knew what I had been denying for months. I was falling in love with Lucas. Slowly, quietly, unintentionally, irreversibly. The final spark came the night Ethan screamed at me for ignoring him. I ran to my car to cry. Lucas saw me from the driveway. He texted, "If you need somewhere safe to breathe, my door is open. No questions." I didn't go inside, but Ethan found the text. Which brought us back to the kitchen. Ethan shaking with rage, me shaking with fear, Lucas shaking with a different kind of fire altogether. When their mother walked in, everything froze. She saw Ethan's hand on my wrist. She saw the broken glass. She saw Lucas restraining Ethan. She saw me crying like a child. "What is going on?" she whispered, horror in her voice. Ethan released a barrage of lies, accusing me of cheating, accusing Lucas of seducing me, accusing everyone of betrayal. His parents didn't buy any of it. And when they saw the bruise forming on my wrist, the decision was made. "You need to leave," his father said, voice cold with finality. "Now. And you won't come back until you get help." Ethan stormed out of the house. His wheels screeched down the driveway. His world began to burn behind him. Within 48 hours, his drunken rants on social media were reported to his job. He was suspended. Friends he once bragged about confronted him, disgusted. Screenshots circulated. His perfect image fractured, then crumbled, then collapsed entirely. He called me 57 times. I didn't answer once. His final voicemail was soft broken. "I'm sorry, please don't leave me." But I already had. I stayed in the guest room of Lucas's parents' house at their insistence. Lucas kept his distance at first, too careful, too respectful, too afraid of being the reason I hurt more. He left tea outside my door, blankets when the nights got cold, handwritten notes that said, "You're safe. Take your time. You don't owe anyone an explanation." On the fourth night, I found him sitting on the back porch. He didn't turn when I sat beside him. "I'm glad you're safe," he said quietly. "Lucas." My voice trembled. He finally looked at me. "I never wanted to be between you two," he said. "I tried to stay out of it, but I couldn't watch him hurt you. I'm sorry if I made anything harder." "You didn't," I whispered. "You were the only part that didn't hurt." Silence wrapped around us like a blanket. He looked at the stars, then at me, then down at his hands as if trying to steady his pulse. I took a breath that shook my entire body. "I felt something for you," I confessed. "Before everything happened. I tried to ignore it, but I did." His eyes closed, just for a second. like he was absorbing the words directly into his heart. For me? He asked softly. Yes. He swallowed. His voice broke when he said, I've loved you quietly for a long time, longer than I should have. But I swear, I never would have acted on it while you were with him. I believed him. Completely. We didn't rush anything. We healed. We learned how to breathe again. We learned how to be whole again. 3 months later, when I was finally myself again, Lucas asked me, Can I take you on an actual date? One with no fear in it? I said yes. Months later, Ethan texted me, I'm in therapy. I'm sorry. I hope you're happy. I wished him healing. I didn't respond. Lucas and I grew slowly, tenderly, honestly. He never raised his voice. Never made me feel small. Never made me fear love. He became my peace, my calm, my home. And sometimes, late at night, when he holds me the way someone holds a fragile truth, I remember the girl I used to be, the one who mistook fear for passion, chaos for chemistry, cruelty for love. The girl who didn't know she deserved gentleness. The girl who didn't know she deserved him. If there's one thing I learned, it's this. Sometimes the person meant for you isn't the one who dazzles you. It's the one who sees you quietly, steadily, even when you're not looking. Sometimes love isn't loud. Sometimes it's not fireworks. Sometimes it's soft, patient, and built slowly from the pieces you thought were too broken to use again. Sometimes the person meant for you is the one who helps you put your heart back together after someone else shatters it. And sometimes, falling in love with the wrong man is the only way to find the right one.